Welcome to another episode of Cinematic Anarchy, and god damn, is that a boring way to start every fucking podcast that we do. And
Why are there balloons in my thing?
I have no idea. I've never
Confusion!
It's the peace sign. I don't know. Oh, you're doing it through your phone, aren't you? You've got it set up through your phone, so certain signals, like if you throw up like a heart, the heart thing, yep, there you go. You got hearts.
Oh my god!
If you give a thumbs up, you'll get something too. But there's a lot of hand motions that you can do. You got to just hang it out there for just a minute, and then yep, there you go. Like, share, subscribe. I apologize. We are going on 7 years.
The camera effects.
This is going to be one of the last episodes of this season. We're doing a memorial episode. Myself and Miss B. Say hi, Miss B. You faded out for a minute there, but that's okay.
Words.
It's you're going through your earbuds, right? Okay, so the earbud, it only really turns itself on so it doesn't waste its battery when it senses that you're actually speaking. So once you go into an actual long diatribe, it'll pick you up after about a split second of talking. So we are doing a memorial episode today for the likes of Mr. Gene Hackman and Miss Michelle Trachtenberg. And I'm actually going to talk about another guy who passed away recently as well.
Everyone's dying.
I forgot to mention this. Well, two guys, actually. But the one that sticks out in my head because I can remember his name and I can't remember the name of the other actor is David Johansen, the lead of the New York Dolls. He was also well known for playing the cabbie in Scrooged.
Okay.
He passed away recently, so he was
Damn.
He was big on the New York punk scene as part of the New York Dolls, and he also had a alternate persona, Buster Poindexter, I believe, singing the song "Hot Hot Hot." Feeling hot, hot, hot. Yeah,
okay,
he was.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. You've probably seen the music video or music videos. Like I'm talking like MTV generation. My apologies.
Do we have any idea how Gene Hackman actually died?
Okay, so after everything,
it was carbon monoxide, but they ruled that out.
It seems like his wife passed away first, and then I'm not sure how she passed away specifically, but I did read up on him. He died of hypertension and complications due to Alzheimer's. So I think with her having passed away, he had the beginning stages of Alzheimer's, may not have realized how to take care of himself. It sounds like he had some heart issues and possibly may have either forgotten his medication or whatever and died a few days later after her.
And the dog?
They don't know what happened to the dog yet.
God. This seems like very random.
Well, okay, think about it for a minute, though. I'm thinking starvation, because you have two people that passed away. Maybe the dog loved them too much to eat them.
Another dog.
There was another dog?
That lived.
Well, I have no idea then. Maybe...
I'm so confused, dude. Fucking, this is a very weird, sequence of events.
Maybe he was just like, hey, brother, you eat everything. I'm good. I love these guys. I'm going with them.
They don't have fucking house staff come through and, check on them at all?
Apparently not. But he had a wife 30 years his junior, basically. So maybe he didn't expect to have needed it.
Everyone needs help.
I mean...
Visit them at all? Fucking notice their cars were there? And
who do you think's going to suddenly pass away first? The 90-year-old or the 60-year-old? You don't think the 60-year-old's going first.
It's even still.
But
it's
I shouldn't be smiling here. I'm joking about it, but seriously. They were alone for a while and nobody seemed to have checked up. Was it 3 weeks before anybody checked up on them? But they were in the middle of, I think, was it New Mexico or Arizona? I believe they were found. I feel like I should bring up an article. I should have had more to talk about on this subject, but I heard Gene Hackman died, and I'm like, all these movies that I grew up watching him in, and this man passed away. Not like...
know that he was fucking Mandible and Ants.
Right, and then, of course, he was my Lex Luthor.
Yeah.
right? In the Christopher Reeve movies, he was Lex Luthor. I disown him for that last one. The fucking Superman 4, The Quest for Peace with the nuclear man. No, I'm good. I'm done.
Oh my god.
I no amount of head shaving Lex Luthor action is gonna really make me forgive him for that movie. But he equal parts the comedian, but also he was the tough guy too. You know, he had several movies that I loved him in. He was I loved him in An Enemy of the State. I liked him in the Replacements. Have you gotten to see the Replacements?
I think so.
Okay, that's where he basically was the coach of a football team that brought in a bunch of scabs to play whenever all the football players went on strike. And it basically starred Keanu Reeves, John Favreau. There was a lot of.
That sounds really familiar.
If you haven't seen it, I think you would like it if you like any of them. I don't know how you are about football movies in general, but
I'm neutral.
it leans hard into the comedy. Basically, they had to get a whole replacement team to play. They did very well, obviously, because that's how those movies go. But they also had to replace the cheerleaders, and basically a bunch of strippers from like the club down the street ended up
Oh my god.
filling in. So you can imagine how they distracted some of the other teams.
Ugh, I got something in my
Yeah.
eye.
Well, don't do
That's
that.
fucking silly.
Something in your eye, you got a splinter in your foot. Is your room
Oh
trying to kill you?
yes, God, like fucking. You can't have anything goddamn nice.
Your room seems to want to end you.
Not let this defeat me.
You survived the basement. You've moved up to the top floor. Your room should treat you a little nicer.
I cleaned all that garbage out.
So, you said you watched a couple of films with Gene Hackman in it. What did you watch?
I only watched one. I watched the Great Tenenbaums. They're the Royal Tenenbaums.
The Great Okay.
They're great.
Okay,
Oh,
so a Wes Anderson film with a lot of deadpan delivery. Ah.
it was listed as a comedy, but it wasn't that funny to me. It was more of just like a shitty grandfather trying to make up for being a shitty dad.
I mean, it's definitely a highbrow comedy. He was the most animated the entire film, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I loved the scenes where he's just like fucking off with his grandson and teaching them how to be like children again.
As many comedic actors as there were in that film, like, I felt it leaned more on drama than it did comedy.
Exactly.
I think most of Wes Anderson's films are supposed to be comedies, if I'm not mistaken. But
But yeah,
I think, and I can be mistaken about this, and if anybody's listening, watching, or whatever, you can go ahead and correct me in the comments below. But I feel his films, the reason why they don't feel like comedy, if you've watched enough of them, is because he requires most of his actors to do their lines with sort of a deadpan delivery, like an even tone, very emotionless.
yeah,
So almost every film that I've seen that he has done, it's been that deadpan delivery. So you have all these comedic moments that are not delivered with comedic inflection. And
and you have to like be serious about it to like get the comedy.
so he leans hard into the deadpan delivery, but his environments, the scenery, the scenes, all that stuff going on behind the characters is
Yep.
absolutely stunning. So
I honestly, it was a really good fucking movie.
his films are just as much about the dialogue as it is about the art of the actual scene itself. Everything going on around the characters rather than just
Exactly.
focusing on the characters.
It's fucking a broadened storyline.
I did like him in that movie. I've watched. You haven't watched any other? I mean, not just today, but have you watched any other Gene Hackman movies?
Fucking likely. Like,
I've watched too many Gene Hackman films. I've watched too many movies in general.
let me see if my laptop's not dead.
Not dead. Okay,
Fucking
well,
IMDb's is
I I'll go off the top of my head the films that I've watched while you're going ahead and looking that up. Enemy of the State, where he played alongside, or across from, I should say, uh, Will Smith. That was more of an action thriller. There was Mooseport, where he basically played the
I
president of the
saw that.
United States, where he moved. Was that Mooseport, like Alaska, or what? Where
Yeah,
was that supposed to be?
hang on. I
But he
don't.
moved to.
I
President retires to a small
prepared.
town to basically. He decides he's going to run for governor against the guy or mayor of that town. I guess I don't know if it was out of a bet or out of a grudge, but it was basically him and Ray Romano going nose to nose, which was funny as hell. Uh, oh God, I'm trying to think if there's any other Gene Hackman films I've seen. The Quick and the Dead was a great film. That's I believe Sharon Stone. Gene Hackman plays like the big bad guy across from uh, Leonardo DiCaprio, Russell Crowe, like a massive cast. But these were all people that weren't exactly the biggest names back then. They are now. You recognize all of them now, but like, Russell Crowe and Leonardo DiCaprio were still fairly young back then.
Yeah,
Uh,
fucking.
you're
Go
trying to
faster, computer.
see. This is why you should have done it on the computer and then had your phone for backup to look things up. Runaway
I don't
Jury.
plan ahead.
Runaway Jury is a good film. Him across from John Cusack. Geez, I'm trying to remember. Of course, all of the Superman movies, which I watched them growing up, and I can remember there was one particular scene that really disturbed me. I have to go watch the Superman movies again. I'm not sure if it was like this transformation where he lost his powers or gave up his powers for the love of Lois,
Yeah.
and then he went through all this sorts of remorse and grief after having given up his powers. But I think it was maybe Superman 3. The second one was Richard Pryor, which I don't think I really liked all that much.
Okay, I think my computer is dead.
You
It's
think your
just stuck
computer's
on the
dead?
Yeah, it's just stuck on the opening screen.
So we'll just say for now, of the Gene
Doesn't
Hackman
exist.
movies, you remember Ants and you remember
The Royal
the
Tenenbaums
Royal Tenenbaums because you watched
and
it today,
Mooseport.
and Mooseport. And I just watched Heartbreakers shortly before sitting down to talk to you, which is mostly revolves around Sigourney Weaver and
Love
Jennifer
that
Love
bitch.
Hewitt. They're basically a mother-daughter duo of con artists who basically the mom marries a guy and then convinces her daughter to convince him to cheat on her so that she can divorce him and take their money.
What the fuck?
So that's the whole con, is that they just do that going from guy to guy to guy. And he plays the next target, basically a millionaire that's
Yeah.
just basically a chain smoker. That's basically slowly dying through the film. She convinces him to marry her only to die shortly after.
And be put in his will.
Yes. Uh,
Oh my god.
so I think he died before she could cash in on that. Like they didn't get married. So we gotta put him somewhere and convince them that he died in his home alone by himself, not around me. So yeah, it was an interesting film. Probably one of my favorite Jennifer Love Hewitt films because I don't have a lot of films I've watched her in. So outside of what I Know What You Did Last Summer, those are both her.
Things. There were the few things that I really enjoyed her in, and right over the top of my head. Can't fucking like. I don't know anything today.
All I can remember is this movie, Ghost Whisperer, I Know What You Did
Yep.
Last Summer,
Yep.
both 1 and 2, and oh, good
It was a
lord,
series, not a movie.
what?
Ghost Whisperer was a
Yes,
series.
yes. Well, I'm just talking about things that I've seen her in.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything past that though. So, oh, was it Party of Five, the TV show that she was in when she was like younger, like a kid?
I don't remember if I watched that.
And Can't Hardly Wait.
Yep.
She was like the main girl in that. Can't Hardly Wait. If I'm not mistaken, yeah. The one that Ethan Embry was like obsessed with her. So it's like, this is not realistic, folks, but okay, sure. We'll give it
C'est
to
la
you.
vie.
Teen movies are not supposed to be realistic representations of actual teens anyway.
No, of course not.
Never.
They're 25-year-olds playing teenagers.
If you made a movie that was an actual representation of teenagers, it would be depressing as hell.
Right? They expect us to believe that those 40-year-olds in Greece were teenagers.
Greasy teenagers. No.
Ugh.
What, you didn't think that John
Graduated
Travolta
20 years
was...
ago.
You didn't think John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John were like young kids in their teens?
Graduated 20 years ago.
Stockard Channing? Come on. No? Frenchie, come on.
Totally. I love that bitch, but totally.
Come on. You didn't think Kaneki was a teenager?
That was a whole fucking predator. To go to jail just for looking like that. Oh my god.
Ugh.
He looks like he needs to be like quarantined. Like he looks like he will start the next zombie virus.
How to make a G to PG rated musical that's almost entirely about sex without actually being about sex. Now, that's what
Literally
Grease
all
was.
about sex.
Okay, so now let's move on. Michelle Trachtenberg. What have you seen her in?
Ice Princess, a whole bunch of other stuff that I can't name.
So I just watched Take Me Home Tonight today.
Didn't watch that.
I think she didn't have a really big role in it either. It was the chubbier guy. I can't remember his name worth the life of me either, even though I've seen him in like everything. He was in like Balls of Fury. God.
The guy with the main character from Balls of
Yeah.
Fury?
Yeah,
Oh,
the main
I love
character.
that. I love that guy.
He's funny as hell, but he played the best buddy in this. And she played like this girl, like he snorted a whole line of coke and just went nuts at a party and challenged this other guy who was actually a good dancer to a dance off with like a tie around his head, and he acted like a jackass in the middle of the floor. And she was watching them the entire time, kind of trying to figure him
Makes it
out.
work.
And the guy got in his face, did another, the actual good dancer got in his face, did another dance, and he got up just kind of doing this little thing here where little I don't know, cha-cha, or I don't know what that whole thing is, till he got close enough to him, and then he kicked him in the dick. And she was just into it. She was like into it. Like,
well, I mean, yeah.
she was like one of those people, like she didn't like conformists and all that kind of stuff. She was like, that was like anti-dance dancing.
God, you're so cool.
So yeah, she had like black hair, like jet black hair, kind of looked a little grungy, was smoking the entire time. It was interesting. It was an interesting role for her, but like watching her and him make out nearing the end of the movie, and I was just like, why does this feel so uncomfortable? I think it's because like the first time I watched this movie, it was just shortly after like seeing her as Dawn in Buffy. So like she was definitely of age to do whatever she was doing in this movie, but like I hadn't seen a lot of her outside of that and like Harriet the Spy, and she was in Pete and Pete as a little kid.
Yeah.
She was in Ice Princess. So I saw Disney and
I
Dawn.
remember growing up with her in a bunch of like Disney shit and like all this innocent fucking movies, and then fucking Euro Trip comes out, and every year at every family fucking holiday party, all the cousins would gather into my uncle's fucking home theater and watch fucking Euro Trip, which was a very weird tradition looking back on.
Euro Trip
Trip with all
was
your cousins where makes out with her twin brother. Weird. It's very yeehaw.
Yeah.
Alabama.
I
What?
I remember that movie just vaguely. Because I don't remember liking it. It was sort of the spiritual successor to the road trip movie with like Sean William Scott
Okay,
and
so
Amy Smart and all them.
Eurotrip is where Scotty Doesn't Know originated.
Right. Oh my God. Right.
Doesn't know that Fiona and me do in my van every Sunday.
And Scotty's standing right there.
Yep. And through the entire Eurotrip, different clubs that they hit, playing different versions of Scotty Doesn't Know. This best friend puts Scotty Doesn't Know as his ringtone, and he just eventually starts fucking accepting it. Like, you know what? It is pretty catchy.
It is what it is. All right. I
And he
mean,
goes searching for this fucking German girl that he's been pen paling with that he thought was a dude. They end up fucking in the Vatican and causing all kinds of crazy stuff.
I think it's
Great
been
movie.
entirely too long since I've seen that movie. Okay. I think the reason I haven't seen the film since its original release is because I remember the teaser trailers leaning a little too hard into her like flashing people to stop traffic.
I don't
It was
remember
her
that.
just flashing people on the.
Okay.
She was supposed to like you never see anything, but she was supposed to like
Yeah.
flash somebody to like I don't know if she was trying to stop a car or whatever the hell it was, but she was on the side of the road just flashing people.
Like
And
in
I think I have a problem with certain movies, and it's because number one, I have
you
two
go to a
kids.
nude beach and it's all dudes.
I'm 48 years old, and I think I have a problem with TV shows and movies where I've watched the little kid grow up and now they're doing something that is on the fairly like adult side of things. And so like there's a lot of
Right? I
kids.
watched you grow up. This is weird.
I have the dad thing in my head that makes me want to grab a towel. Oh my God, hide those. What is wrong with you? Show a little modesty. Put some clothes
I feel
on.
that. And
So
also at the same time, bodily autonomy.
it's like, okay, I want
Okay, now I get it.
in the back of my head, I'm like, I understand why you're doing what you're doing, but on the other hand, I was like, I just watched you grow up. I really, can you put a bra on? Can you put those away? Okay,
Am I feeling things? It's weird.
you know.
No.
So I have dad mode. I don't have that mode that a lot of guys seem to have now, where they have
Yeah.
countdown clocks for when somebody turns 18, which I think is just fucking creepy. Which means that you're already
Gross and
thinking
weird.
about it before they're 18, which already puts you
Exactly.
in
It's
perv
gross
mode.
and weird and fucking predatory and
So I don't have that mindset. I have the dad mindset where I'm like, okay, Michelle and Ashley, I watched you grow up. You need to wear a little bit more. Thankfully, they, for the most part, have just dressed in like layers. Because
yeah.
seeing baby Michelle from fucking Full House grow up and then start flashing her tits on the side of the highway, that would bother the hell out of me. Like, do you know how many kids movies I had to watch with my kids growing up with you in it? This is disturbing.
Uh,
Put it away. So,
but yeah, I don't know. Either way, I always really liked Ice Princess as well. I used
yeah.
to watch that shit religiously as a kid.
I ended up watching a lot of Harriet the Spy. I remember Spencer particularly liking that movie. He doesn't remember it anymore, though, which is funny. It was a long while ago. I mean, Harriet the Spy was, when she was a little kid. Pete and Pete was when Serenity was still watching, like, Nickelodeon. That was back in the heydays, like Hey Dude and Salute Your Shorts and all that shit.
God, I feel old.
There was an awful lot of gingers on Nickelodeon. There was, like, not for nothing, like,
And a lot of ongoing like gingers don't have soul jokes
no. But back then
outside of Nickelodeon.
there wasn't a no soul ginger kind of thing back then. No, no, no. Am
Kind of
I
there
wrong?
was.
I
There
mean,
was.
you had that actor from Salute Your Shorts. He was just a part of the crew, but there seemed to need to be a ginger on almost every
Yeah, it's like
show.
comedic relief.
Like, we don't have that anymore. You don't have to have the ginger on every
Chucky
show.
was the awkward ginger baby in Rugrats.
Oh my
I
God,
fucking
right?
love Chucky. He's such a peach.
He's like the neurotic, paranoid one. Like everything.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know,
love him.
Tommy. I don't know, Tommy. I can't do that voice.
I couldn't even
I
begin to try.
I would have to like hear it again because I haven't watched Rugrats in probably the better part of a decade.
It's very nasally. Yeah, I don't know.
It is.
That was like an old person. Oh
I mean, it basically is like an old baby Jewish person. It's the kind of it's the kind of voice it would. I think like maybe John Mulaney if you sped up his voice just a little bit.
my god.
You know what I mean? You give him like almost the chipmunk treatment, just a little less than that.
I see it.
So yeah, no,
Oh
I
my
mean,
buns.
my kids grew up watching that. I watched a lot of Buffy, so I got a lot of her in that respect. Uh, the show where everybody, if you've ever watched Buffy, I don't know if you've seen that show.
I have.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
I've seen Buffy. I just didn't watch a lot of it.
Everybody was surprised by her presence because you went through several seasons of her being an only child. Then one season literally starts with her having a sister
Yeah.
out of nowhere. And everybody is acting like this is absolutely normal. And until a couple of episodes
Where
in,
did this bitch come from?
you don't realize, oh my God, wait a minute. They start to realize that wait, I have a sister and I know that I have a sister, but I also know that I don't have a sister. So,
Confusing at all.
well, the whole premise to her existence was that she was a key of some sort, and these monks that created her as a key needed the Slayer to protect her. So what they did was they created a little a mind trip. They basically created a whole backstory in the Slayer's mind and the family's mind. Basically,
Created her memory,
right.
fucked with everyone, and
But like
just like, here she is.
everybody had to remember that Dawn was her sister for this to be believable, for the Slayer to
Damn
want to
monks.
protect her with her life.
Those goddamn monks making decisions for people.
Yeah, monks always seem to make bad decisions in a lot of movies. Like, oh my God, why are the monks getting killed? And oh my God, why are the monks just getting killed? Actually, they seem to get killed in a lot of things.
Right? They're just chilling, doing their fucking
I'm trying to
Zen
think.
gardens and shit.
I think in Bulletproof Monk, monks get killed. I think in The Golden Child,
I
the
mean,
monks get killed.
yeah.
Uh yeah, they all just seem to get slaughtered.
The whole fucking airbending tribe.
It's like, aren't you supposed to be like Shaolin monks? Where are the ninja monks here? The ones that are like gonna stick up for themselves and take people down.
I don't know, man. I
They
don't know.
seem
Oh, well, they're alive and in the shadows because we don't know where they are.
all those
They're
kung
doing their
fu
own thing.
movies. All
Peace on
those
earth.
kung fu movies growing up, I was led to believe that the Shaolin monks are supposed to be these really, really difficult people to defeat in
Yeah.
hand-to-hand combat. And then you see all these movies throughout the 80s, 90s, the 2000s, and it's like, no, they're just getting killed left and right. The
Well, that's
Shaolin,
because most of these people aren't using hand-to-hand combat. They're using automatic weapons.
that's fair. I mean, I haven't heard any Shaolin monks that can
Monks
stop
fight
like
fair
shotgun fire.
and they fight well. They don't. How many monks do you know that carries fucking AK-47s and shit?
Rock, paper, scissors is always defeated by bullet grenade. You know, it's just you throw that either one of those into the mix. Paper, bullet, grenade, whatever, gone. Scissors, gone.
Yep.
Overly explained my observation there, and I'm tripping on my tongue now. It's been a very long week.
Tripping on?
I have not taken my daily dose yet. I'm not tripping on anything yet. I'm tripping on exhaustion.
You don't trip on edibles.
Huh?
You don't trip on edibles.
Ah.
You get cozy.
Yeah, I want to say I've never tripped on anything that I've taken. I've gotten real warm and cozy. I haven't tripped on edibles. You know,
I've I've had a few of my own, but I do miss it. It's been
my
a long
dear,
time.
alcohol and edibles. That's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
Okay, I am not a hardcore fan of doing anything else. I have been around other people that have done certain things, and I've seen them get into some frightening situations. So I think that might have been why I never really got into
That's
that kind of stuff.
valid.
And you know the history with my other adoptive sister. I've told you about that.
Yeah.
So a lot of external bad experiences. It's like, you know what? I'll take the pot because I've never heard of anybody have shit happen to them on pot. You know, that's it.
Sometimes you get a little paranoid, but it'll breeze away with a little
And
water.
now I have an
Just gotta
absolute
goose raba.
I have an absolute reason to mark this as not appropriate for children when we put this up on YouTube. It's like, is this appropriate for people under the age of 18? Fuck no. It might not even be appropriate for people under the age of 21, depending upon what kind of mindset you're looking at. You know, I've kept my clothes on.
I don't
We're
know what I'm
good.
doing with my life right now.
I'm not going to pull a Michelle Trachtenberg. You know, we'll please leave that down there.
Oakley dokley.
And of course, I'm going to actually have to look this up.
So how did Michelle pass?
Michelle, she passed. They are still trying to figure out what happened to her, but the last I read is they think it is complications due to a recent liver transplant surgery that she had. So I guess she had a recent surgery, and it went well, they thought, but she was found in her home after a wellness check, and she had passed away. So
It rejected or something.
I am looking up something because there was somebody else that had passed away, and it pissed me off that I cannot remember his name. And I'm going to look it up because this it annoys me that I don't. It's George Lowe. That's what the name that I couldn't remember. George Lowe. George Lowe passed away at the age of 67 years old. You don't know who he is because there's not a lot of people that would commit the name to memory unless they really, really love Space Ghost.
No idea.
Space Ghost, well, he was a Hanna-Barbera character back in the, I believe, 70s and 80s, but he was revived, I believe, was it late 90s, early 2000s, for a TV show on Adult Swim called Space Coast, Coast to Coast, which was sort of a
I watched a
weird...
lot of Adult Swim. I didn't watch that. I guess I'm gonna have to now.
Look it up. Basically, it is a late night talk show interview thing as done with Space Ghost and whoever he had on. And I think he had like a insectoid buddy. Kind of looked like a living praying mantis, like a humanoid
Alright.
praying
I
mantis
fucks with it.
almost. So yeah, Space Ghost Coast to Coast. That was something I remember. The guy that voices Space Ghost passed away at 67 years old. 67, yes. So that is George Lowe. Obviously, we don't have a lot to discuss here because
No.
unless you really
It's
watched
very
like
interesting.
the Hanna-Barbera knockoff shows, the ones that kind of leaned
Yeah.
into it, like there was C Lab, was it 2021 or something like that? I think
Nope.
they had Harvey
Damn,
Harvey
I'm slacking
Birdman.
hard on this episode. What the fuck?
Have you ever seen Harvey Birdman, Attorney at Law?
I know of it.
Okay. I mean, you have to at least watch the episode where Scooby and Shaggy were arrested for possession.
Reals.
So there's a lot of those Hanna-Barbera knockoffs that were really worth watching. Those ones were obviously meant for the adults that watch a lot of those. We lost you for a minute, huh? Did I lose you? Oh, what? Oh, I can hear you. You're a little blurry. Oh, that one's that one sounds like it's underwater, Miss B. I apologize.
It might have actually.
Yeah, that one sounds like it's underwater. Can't hear you at all. I'll keep talking for a minute.
Okay.
So, yeah, and unless you watched a lot of Hanna-Barbera cartoons, those particular shows might not have had as big a draw for you during Adult Swim. Well, we're gonna go back to just. Can you use your phone for?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly fine.
Cool. My
Yeah.
headphone died. And then this backup
Okay.
is trash, apparently.
Well, I can hear you perfectly fine just doing this.
Go beans. I gotta get myself a new set of AirPods.
that's that's understandable. How long have you had those?
3 years? 4, maybe?
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's a
Fucking
little while. That's a long life for any electronics at this point. I've
maybe
had
2.
this computer.
No, I had them before I moved in with my family.
Oh, okay. The laptop that I'm working on right now, I've had for the better part of, I think, 6 years now. Because if you remember correctly, when we first started the podcast 6 years ago, I had to use Spencer's computer a few times.
Yeah, I remember.
And well, Spencer kind of needed it for his own stuff, so my wife was like, "You know what? Go out, get yourself a." Why am I talking like fucking Donald Trump? Okay,
Right?
go
What?
go out and
What?
get yourself a computer.
Candace,
I
I'm
don't know where that came from.
on you.
Oh, I don't know where that came from. Sorry. Go out, get yourself a
Telling
computer.
you.
Uh, hi, honey. I turned you into Trump for about 2 seconds. I was doing a U voice, and somehow the U voice mentally turned into Donald Trump. I'm sorry. And then you see this where I'm sitting right here. This is the couch I'll be sleeping on tonight.
Yep.
So yeah, more than likely. So is there anything else you remember about the said quartet of celebrities that have passed away recently? Wish it was just passed out.
Passed out, Chris.
No,
No? What?
the long sleep.
The long sleeps.
The long sleeps.
My camera is being really slow now.
It's all right. So this will record native, and it will clear this up when we post it.
Okay.
So,
But, yeah. It's fucking. Man, 2 people are dying.
you know,
I-
I'm gonna
And
say this.
all of these very weird circumstances that people are passing away under.
Well, it's weird circumstances, but you have to look at it this way: the periodic and slow dumbing down of society is going to cause some real issues in areas that actually require you to have some intelligence to
Oh, yeah.
be able to take care of certain things, like, the medical field. You
Yeah.
can't have a dumbass like the guy from Idiocracy who couldn't figure out which end to put the tube in. Do you remember Idiocracy? It's like, here, put this one goes in your mouth, this one goes in your butt. And he puts the one in his mouth, and he goes, wait a minute. No, that one goes in your butt, this one goes in your mouth. It's like, oh, wait, I just put the butt one in my mouth? Oh, my God.
We stray closer to democracy every day.
Closer.
Mm.
Closer. We're not in it?
Oh, we're way far up the anal cavity right now of Idiocracy.
I mean, Fuddruckers isn't called butt. Well, you know what it turned out to be. Uh, but it's not called
You
butt
get
fuckers at this point. So, I mean,
mad about that.
no? Why are you mad about that?
Fuddruckers not being a thing over in Methuen anymore.
Yeah, no. The one over in
I'm
Methuen's gone.
salty about it. Where's the next closest Fuddruckers?
Isn't there one up the street in Lawrence from you? There isn't one like up the hill from the market basket over there?
I don't think so.
No, I could
One
have sworn there was still one up there.
up
I'm
one
gonna
four.
have to go.
No,
I know there isn't one in Methuen anymore, but if you were to go from Lawrence, like you're heading up that main road towards the college over there, and like you were heading towards Peabody, on the right hand side there's a whole shopping area. Like you'll go up the hill past where Boston Market used to be, which is no longer there.
so far up 114. Fucking like I'm way past the fucking college. I have not seen
No.
cars on that street.
I'll go look it up when I'm done. I'm thinking it's closer to North Andover.
I swear to God, if there's a goddamn Fuddruckers in North Andover, I thought they were all closed. I thought the restaurant went bankrupt.
Well, I know they closed a lot of their locations, but I don't think they closed them all. I am still, I
This
am
is
still,
I have to pursue.
I think I'm still feeling the body aches from the 3 pound burger challenge they had. You never seen that?
I keep seeing myself in the fucking screen, but my camera's over here.
And now you're upside down.
Hang on, hang on. Do I have my goddamn thingy thing? The screen lock
I don't
on?
know what
I don't.
I don't know what you're doing right now, but you're upside down.
I was trying. I was trying so that I was looking at the camera instead of the screen. Never mind.
I did notice that the way that your phone is set up currently, if I'm talking and you try to talk to me, it cuts your voice out. So I don't
Yeah,
hear all. So I have to actually stop and shut up when you start talking because
yeah. There's no room for overlap.
yeah, I noticed.
Yeah.
It's weird. So, all right. Any
Yeah.
final words about our
I hope you're enjoying the stars, friends.
rest in peace Dawn, Mr. Luther, and Buster Poindexter, and Space Ghost has gone to that other coast. So,
See
that
you in the Manosphere.
I don't have anything else to say. I feel like I should be binging more of their movies right now.
I should have been better prepared.
Well, no, I mean we were able to go for almost an hour chatting about them. I mean, obviously that's really
My
we,
my phone is showing fucking 7 minutes, 7.5 minutes right now. I don't know why
7.5 minutes.
for
Like
recording.
no, it's definitely more than 7.5 minutes.
Oh, I'm fully aware. Like,
I am, and not that anybody needs to know.
it might have been because I like put my screen thingy down.
When you flipped it up and then flipped it back down.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. No, I mean I'm showing a full 43 minutes 10 seconds.
Okay.
So hey, that's fine. Okay, so we're getting to the end of the podcast here. I'm going to do all the pertinence. You can find our podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Good Pods, and wherever you like to listen to your favorite podcasts.
Hell
Uh,
yeah.
we do put up reels on Instagram and I guess on TikTok now, though I'm not as
I
diligent as I should be.
on TikTok for a while.
All I've got is our account. It's just stuff from our podcast that I've been putting up lately.
To be fair, fucking I didn't have access to my TikTok account for months, and then I found out that the person that let me use his cell phone number hijacked my account and then started deleting my videos. He deleted like 2 years worth of videos
Well, that's not
instead of
nice of him.
contacting me and talking to me about he forgot that he let me use his number a couple years ago and went to go make his own account and then just started deleting all my shit.
Yeah,
There was no communication, nothing, and I was just like, dude. I mean, it's not that serious, but what the fuck? You
it's kind of an asshole move. I mean,
could
it's.
have to me or Junie.
I mean, people's social media is very personal, so just to kind of hijack things and start deleting people's shit without
Right?
permission is actually kind of vicious.
TikTok name. He fucking changed my picture, and he was gonna hijack my account with my fucking 17,000 followers, I think, to make it all his own.
Hmm.
And like, I've got drafts on my account that I didn't post, but they're not things that I want other people to look at. They're sexy things.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep.
And he hijacked that account.
Yeah. He didn't post any of the drafts or anything like that.
Yeah, but that means he has
But
access to them. What?
I don't know if he possibly saved my drafts to his phone.
Creepy people.
Just
No.
leave it where it was, and it is what it is. It's over. It's done with. I have access to my account again, and I changed the password.
All right. Well, folks, if you've gotten this far into our podcast, please like, share, subscribe, whatever you got to do. We're always trying to figure out other movies that you'd like to have us talk about, or
Throw it on.
hey, if you got weirdness you want to subject us to, throw it our way.
I need it.
And
Please. The
as
world is
Miss
terrible and serious.
I want to say yes, it's terrible and serious, but also it's a fucking joke.
Everything is on fire.
So what do you do when you have what do you do with the water? Come on,
Pee.
come on. Pee on it. No. I was trying to get you to say your tagline.
Drink some fucking water, you thirsty bitches.
When the world's on fire, you drink some water, you thirsty bitches. Yes, right.